Well, I'm saying it is awful, but was it catastrophically Madame Web, Venom, Borderlands, The Crow, stupid bad? No, no. Ridley Scott is very talented, so he can still put out some pretty nice pictures, and there's a lot of visually arresting things here, as always. And Ridley has a really great eye. But after the beginning and very exciting epic opening, yeah, this thing, aside from the action scenes, is there's really not much here. In fact, it's shocking how little there is here. So this is a sequel to the first Gladiator, which I loved, and yes, it is an action adventure epic. But I think Gladiator was doing a lot more. This one isn't even trying. So we're getting the son of Maximus. Yes, Maximus had a son. Okay, whatever. So, son of Maximus is in trouble because he loses a lover, and that gets him enslaved, and then the slave will rise up and challenge the empire. Now, you might think, wait, isn't that Gladiator 1? Yeah, well, they do change enough. It is a different story, but basically, it is Son of Maximus fighting not one Commodus, but two Commoduses, double Commodus, and they're super crazy. And Denzel Washington is sort of a shadowy figure who's going to manipulate the situation to try to become more powerful. And we do see some of the older actors who were in the first film, but really, the acting here was surprisingly not terrible, but just kind of functional. Like there's these scenes with Connie, and she's giving everything, like she's crying and bawling, but the editing is terrible, and I was nearly laughing, which the point of the scenes were not to be laughing. So, if you're a Gladiator fan, will you be disappointed? Yeah, I think you'll be very disappointed. That said, if you're not hardcore into the mythology, you don't really care about the details, you're just like, I just want to see some fun rhinos and sharks and just swords and stuff. Yeah, you probably find enough here. It was definitely way more exciting than Venom, but I don't know. I kind of wanted a little bit more. And granted, The Gladiator was kind of a classic and kind of a miracle. A lot of what happened was Ridley and Russell Crowe just made stuff up, and it worked. But even that film had a lot of dodgy moments visually. This one, though, is just so much is CGI. It's pretty crazy how fake it is. It just doesn't feel real at all. And that really detracts a lot from the emotion and what you should be feeling in scenes. That said, I think everyone gave it a try, but I do think they made a central mistake not having Russell. And no disrespect to the main actor, but he's not Russell Crowe. So it just feels like they're doing a weak imitation of the first film. But again, if you can bracket a lot of the narrative plot problems, for what it is, it's a fun spectacle. But even here, it just takes a long time to get started. And then when the action happens, it's fine. But then you're just kind of bored in between because these intrigues and conspiracies are just so below the first film. At least the first film had genuine twists about where people were going, whose side everyone was on, the conversions, right, changing of loyalties. Like the main actor, Paul, is that his name? Paul, what, whoever he is, he does this weird, rousing speech, and these big statues are in the background, and it just felt like a high school play. It just felt like they didn't quite know what they were up to, and this is like 20 years they had to try to get a script together, and it just seems like they still quite didn't know, so they just took the basic story of the first film, added 2 crazed emperors, not just 1, Geta and Geta 2, I guess, and that's it. I know there's gonna be some controversy with Denzel and the whatever bisexual gay thing. That's probably one of the least worst things. Now, I am not in favor of just inserting the gay for no reason, but it's in the first film, so people need to calm down. But it didn't really add anything either. It just feels like these are very stock characters, and if you're gonna do something melodramatic and kind of just what's the word, saccharine, you could do it in a much more fun, sustainable way. Like I was actually reminded of The Devil's Advocate for some reason. I don't know why, but that film was really fun. It's really silly and stupid, but it has a lot of energy, and that's kind of what's lacking here. So I guess I'm stating the obvious: watch the Keanu movie or watch Gladiator over this. But this is better than Red One or whatever that was. It's better than Venom, so it's not a total disappointment. But I was hoping for a lot more, and Again, aside from some nice action scenes, really, we didn't go very far. That said, they do set up a really good third film. So this will probably be a weird sequel that if they go back to this story, they've set up enough things to actually make a really great story again. But here it just feels like kind of just a lot of fluff. But I don't think anybody's being lazy, but it just feels like we're going through the motions. And Ridley has a really great visual style, but this felt even smaller than Napoleon. So I don't know. I guess this is Prometheus, but not as boring or annoying. Like Prometheus was just so pretentious. So this is short and simple. It's even shorter technically than the first film. Should you rush out to see it? Well, again, if you want some nice action scenes, yeah. But if you wanted a full blown, really great sequel to Gladiator, yeah, we're still waiting. So I'm gonna have to give this a very severe 5 out of 10. I think that's fair. There's enough good stuff, but there's so much bad stuff and so much fluff and yeah, just wasted air that it's pretty shocking that nobody came in and said we really need to reconstruct this thing because Ridley has done it. He has really torn apart a whole film and done it all over. But here it's like, oh, yeah, we're fine, I guess. But it could have been so much more.